Guys, quick video, accuracy of the 12.5-inch 6-arc build, okay? This is a Ballistic Advantage. It's their fluted 12.5-inch 6-arc. It's carbine length, and I installed that. I bought that when it first came out. It was a limited run. They'll probably do more, but I bought that, installed it, got the BCM rail, BCM upper, and JP bolt. So I built this upper here, SBR'd this lower, and now we've got this little mini sniper rifle, right? So how accurate is it? That was my big question. I put this whole build together, and I'm like, please, dear God, let this thing at least shoot halfway decent. I went out, got a bunch of Hornady ammo. So I got the 108s, I got the 105s, and the 103 ELD-x's. That brings me to a point real quick, guys. If you want to help support this channel, I don't have any sponsors because nobody loves me, and everything I do is kind of expensive. This build was way more than I thought it was going to be. The ammo, I spent close to $300 on ammo alone. So just the accuracy testing alone costs at least $100. It adds up a lot. And I do this for you guys so that you guys can see muzzle velocities, accuracies. Should I get this barrel? Is it shit? If you want to help me out, I set up the YouTube memberships. The lowest option is $5. That's being a supporter of the channel, and that'll help fund ammo, barrels, things like that, so I can keep doing experiments like this, showing you guys what these guns are capable of, and I can do more and more of those types of videos. All right, so let's get into the accuracy of this thing. Main thing is I have a Mark V HD scope mounted on here. What I did was I went out and I originally shot, I had the Cat ODB suppressor on this, and I had the Law folder on this, and I was shooting groups, and I noticed that there was some instability in the back. While I was getting, in position, there was slight movements from the Law folder. It's not a perfect, solid setup where there is slight movement there, and that was kind of throwing me off, at least in my head. So the groups I was getting were not super awesome. I would shoot 4 shots and then a flyer. 4 shots, nice and tight, and a flyer. I'll show you the results right now. And let's look at the day 1, and then I took the Law folder off, just have the regular stock on this. I shot it the second day. Before I released any of this, I wanted to make sure, hey, is it just me and the setup, or is it the actual barrel? So let's just take a look. All right, guys, so we have day 1 here. I'm shooting the ELD-Ms, and this is what I would get, right? I would get 4 shots really nice and tight, and then 1 flyer, right? So this is 0.8 group here, and then 1.5 inch with that flyer. I had more ELD-Ms here, again, super tight, again, 0.8 inch group here, and then 1.5 inch with that 5th flyer there. ELD-M here, this was the group, which is not bad. It's about an inch group, and then a flyer. I'm like, it was just frustrating because I couldn't get sub MOA. And then I shot the ELD-x's. This was a group with a flyer up here. Again, not terrible, right? This is about slightly over an inch for that 4, and then probably 2 inches with that flyer. Then here, this was about probably the best group we had of the day. There's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that was around 1 inch right there. It was just over, it was 1.06 inches. So just above 1 inch. And then we shot again over here. I didn't have the rifle just didn't feel solid wild group. I'm like, that sucks. But so far, we're getting tight groups with the ELD-Ms. Even with the ELD-x's, right? The ELD-x was the best of the day. It was over an inch, it's just slightly at 1.06 inches. So these were the 105s. I was shooting like a group of 4 and then 5 here. Now we're getting into like 3-inch groups. This was one group. This was another group here. Just not great. Not terrible, realistically, right? It's slightly over an inch, and then you have a flyer up there. It just wasn't great, and I'm like, I was hesitant. I didn't want to put out anything yet. I didn't want to put out any shorts or anything because I'm like, let me take that Law folder off, get a regular buttstock on there, just a straight buffer tube, and then let me see. I'll shoot it again, and let's see what we got. We got the ELD-Ms here. So first shot of the day I shot was this group right here, 0.75 inches, 5-shot group. It was fantastic. I was like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Then I shot over here, 1 inch. Not bad. Again, I'm aiming at this point here. 2 really tight here, 3 really tight here, and that could have just been a slight adjustment from me in between those 2 groups. Probably was. Right here, 1.18. That's 2 shots here, 3, 4, 5. So not bad. 1.4 inch here. Again, we had some tightness, 2 and then 3 real tight. So I probably, shifted something in between there. 1.2 inch here. That little guy kind of ruined it. That would have been an inch or sub inch right there, barely sub inch. And then up here we have, I had 4 really tight, again, 0.55 inch group, 4 shots. And then I had 1 little flyer, 1.4. That's a 5-shot group with the 6.5 Creedmoor, the gas gun, which is freaking wild. There's 3 in that little hole. So what does that all mean? Basically, there was an issue with the law folder. Once I took that off and was able to stabilize a little bit better, I got better groups, more consistent groups, right? There was a flyer sometimes, but it wasn't a huge flyer, okay? The largest groups we had were just slightly over an inch. So consistently, this thing was around an inch, as opposed to the other day when it was around 1.5, but sometimes 2 inches. The 105s didn't shoot that well. I mean, this is a 6-shot group, 1.5 inch. Not terrible, I guess. 1.4 inch, 5-shot here. We had this is at least 1.5 inch. Not great. That actually would have been a really good group, and I just threw a flyer there. So that's a little bit less than an inch right there. That would be a sub-MOA group for a 4-shot, but then a flyer. So now, I shot my 6.5 Creedmoor right after I shot this and was able to print, again, extremely, extremely small groups. So I know I can shoot small groups. Is it the barrel? I don't think it's the barrel in as much as it is. This is a shorter package that is not designed for a precision setup, right? My 6.5 Creedmoor, I have much longer length of pull. And because of that, it's long enough where it's out there and I can pull it into my shoulder. Because this is so short, this is a regular buffer, it's not an A5, which if I put an A5 tube on here, that would probably give me more length of pull, so it's further away from my body so then I can keep pulling in, because when it's so close, you can't really pull that gun in. And for me, when I shoot tight groups, I pull the gun in with my hand, pulling back, and then when I'm pulling that trigger, I'm pulling it in the same direction that I'm pulling that gun straight into my body. So it was more so that I wasn't able to manage this gun. Yes, it's smaller. Yes, there's less recoil technically. I wasn't able to stabilize it with my body and being able to pull it in because the length of pull was so short. So I think the barrel is a good barrel. If you get the system set up that is fitted for you, you're gonna have greater accuracy. The first group of the day was a 0.75 inch 5-shot group out of a gas gun. That's not bad, especially if you have a small little thing like this. Because it is smaller, it's not like a rifle length gas system, it's not gonna be as smooth as say an 18 inch or a 20 inch 6 ARC. No, it's not. So I think the accuracy is there. I'm happy with it. I wish I was able to consistently get 3/4 inch groups consistently, but that's more of a fitment issue than it is the barrel issue. This isn't going to have a scope like this on it anyways. This is going to come off after we shoot long. The next step is we're going to take it out the distance. I want to see how far we can get consistent hits on a human-sized chest. I think we're going to be able to push it to 8 to 9, right? Can we hit 1,000? Yes, and I'm going to push it. We're going to push it as far as we can. But 8 to 900, I think this is going to be the realistic, effective range for this gun, which is still pretty wild for it being 12 inches. There's some thunder. I'm going to be putting a 1 to 8 on this, potentially a 1 to 10. I think a 2 to 10 MPVO would be the perfect optic for this gun. I'm going to borrow one from a friend actually, and we are going to put it on here. But before that, we're going to run it with a 1 to 8, and we're just going to see how far we can push it. The reticle on that will allow us, I checked out the mils on it, we should be able to get hits out to 800 using that reticle. There it is, ballistic advantage for 275. I think it'd be a great barrel at $199, price-wise. That's just me. For what it is, I think it's a good barrel. I think 275 is a bit much. That's just me. It's not a proof barrel. It's not bad though. It's not bad. And even on day one, the accuracy that I was getting wasn't bad, right? I was still able to get, if I was shooting three-shot groups for you guys, which I should do because it's expensive as shit, but if I was just shooting 3-shot groups, I'd have multiple multiple half-inch groups with this barrel. Is the accuracy there? I think so. I think it's pretty good. I think we get a little bit spoiled today where everyone wants half-inch groups out of every gun, even a gas gun, even something like this small. And people will be like, oh, well, it's not shooting half-inch groups. Those are the type of people that don't shoot that often, or don't shoot that much, or have as much experience with firearms. So I think it's good. I think the barrel's good. I think we've passed the first test. Yeah, I would have liked to see it shooting a little bit better, but for the price, if it was $199, I think that would be the money barrel for a 12.5 inch. Do I recommend it? I still recommend it. Based on what's out there, yes. I have not shot the Noveske 12-inch DDF barrels. I know their DDF barrels are very accurate. I'd like to see how accurate, and that'd be a great test, honestly, to run one of their uppers on this to see, okay, what are we working with? For those of you asking with the trigger, I have a LaRue MBT. What it comes down to for me, again, at the end of the day, it's the buttstock. It's the buffer system. If I have an A5, throw an A5 in there where I have more length of pull, or put on some kind of more like precision, like the B5 precision buttstock. Yes, yeah, you could do that, but I want to keep this light. This is not going to be a precision gun per se. This is like, again, it's a 12-inch, right? So what are we thinking? That's a LPVO on top, maybe an MPVO, and you have it as more of like an all-around rifle, all-around do everything rifle out to 800. So that's it. That is the 6-ARC, the 12.5 inch with the Ballistic Advantage fluted barrel. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, share, tell your friends. Everything helps. We're trying to build this channel up. So I'll see you in the next video. We'll be taking this out to distance.